but it's not, of course, because it's about the walking human headline in Liz Cambage. Dumped by the Opals. She spoke to the ABC in Los Angeles in the last couple of days. In fact, the New York Times did a double-page spread on her. Can you believe this, Caro? They love her in America, and they didn't
read anything about Australia.
There was no mention of Australia. There was no mention of the falling out with the Opals. Of course, Jenna was her captain for a long time as the Opals player. This was her talking to the ABC when she was asked about the split from the Opals.
I'm living my best life. I'm supported. I'm protected on a level that the Opals or the Australian team never gave to me. My heart lies with those who want to protect me and those who want me to be the best I can be. And I never felt that in the Opals at all.
So she says she never felt supported in the team that you led. How do you respond to that?
I can hold my head up high and say that I always loved her, always cared for her, always supported her, always had her back. I think that is her reality, and I think the listeners and watchers out there can believe who they want to believe. But yeah, I can hold my head up high.
And this all started in that training game, or the pre-Olympics game when you played Nigeria, and it's never really emerged what happened, but I've had it confirmed from a few sources. Is it correct that you were playing Nigeria and Liz Cambage had her feathers ruffled and she turned to them and said, go back to your third world country? And of course, Ezi Magbor is originally Nigerian, a Nigerian who's now living in Australia and playing for your team, and as a result there was a brawl that erupted, and since then you haven't spoken to her.
That is all 100% correct.
Will she ever play for Australia again, do you think?
No.
So this is the part I cover a lot of women's basketball. I do the WNBL, obviously, for this network, and I've covered a championship team, which obviously Jenna played in alongside Liz. I find it staggering, to be honest. And Basketball Australia have never detailed exactly what went on and how we got to this position, that the outcome is one of the most dominant players on planet Earth, who is Australian, is never going to represent Australia again. And it's almost just this acceptance that we don't want her to play for us, and she doesn't want to play for us, and that's it. And it's finished, and there's almost nothing left to say about it. I feel like with Liz, they look like a podium team, or they're almost a guaranteed podium team every national tournament they play in. Without Liz, we saw what happened at the last Olympic Games, and unfortunately they're sort of scratching around trying to be a quarter-final team. Is that unfair, Jenna?
In all due respect, she pulled out 7 days before our first game at the Olympics, so we didn't have a lot of time to prepare without her. I think that there is just so many wonderfully talented basketballers in Australia. We've got so many playing over in the WNBA at the moment. There's plenty here in Australia as well. And so with the right preparation, I think we can do really well on home soil at the World Cup this year. And I just, there's so many great role models who play basketball that young boys and girls can look up to. So I really want the, media to focus on those players who want to be Opals and who want to represent Australia and who are really dedicated to Australia, and I think that's really important.
There is Ezi Magbor, as we can see, playing yesterday for Seattle. Sandy Brondello's up there with Ange Postecoglou as probably our two most outstanding coaches on the world stage. Has Sandy done enough to try and keep Liz in the Opals team, do you think?
Everyone's done more than enough. We have sacrificed a lot to try and keep her in the program, and, she doesn't want to be here anymore, and that's her choice, and we need to move on without her. So I think, Sandy is going to put the best team forward for the World Cup this year, and I'm really looking forward to watching them play, and, I think that needs to be the headline story.